So, firstly first, Borns,
Yeah,
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm alright, thank you.
Good.
So, before we get into your latest work, I'd like
Mhm.
to jump back to the beginning quickly.
Mhm.
Was there a moment early on that you knew you liked uh, the spotlight in a way?
Oh, the spotlight. Um, yeah, I mean, I guess I was always into like performing arts and that kind of stuff. I don't know if it's necessarily like a quest for the spotlight that I was looking for. I think it was just like knowing something that nobody else knew and like having a performance ready to catch people by surprise or something like that. So I still try to do that just
Right.
with music and with what I wear and what I say and everything. So yeah, I think there's always a quest for doing something different, I suppose. Yeah.
And then this started early on then.
Yeah, when I was pretty young.
What role did music play in this, especially in the earlier years?
Um, I mean, I grew up playing piano all the time and writing songs, and I had a few bands in high school. But yeah, I don't know. I think I liked just the experiences I got out of it, just performing in different environments and meeting people at shows. And I played with some of my friends that had sailboats, so in the summertime we would just like perform and then we'd go on sailboats all night and drink wine and go night sailing. And I think just the lifestyle of it I liked the most, so it's kind of why I got into it.
Was there a time then where it became more than that? It became more than just a good time?
Yeah, I mean, once I had to start kind of like supporting myself,
Okay.
and I wanted to travel, and I had to facilitate the travel somehow, you know. So I thought music was a good way of doing that. And once I started moving around, I went to New York for a bit and worked with some friends out there. Then went to LA, and I didn't really know anyone, but then ended up making some connections with some collaborators out there, and that's when I realized that I could probably do this and be able to travel the world and uh, and just let my music kind of guide the way. So yeah.
And what did music do for you that other creative expressions hadn't up until that point? Because I believe you did some filmmaking, you studied jazz as well, you did magic, I believe. So what was it about music that kind of was different than all those other?
It had a sensuality, I guess, to it that I felt like I couldn't do anyway in anywhere else in any other medium. I don't know. I guess just because music is transparent and it's just, you know, vibratory. It's like it really can hit someone emotionally. I've just had some very intense experiences with music. I think everybody has, you know, but everyone's unique. Experiences are unique to them. So I wanted to make music that hit people emotionally and sensually and made them feel good and sexy.
Can you give me maybe this is delving in too much, but can you give me an example of something that maybe some music that you listened to when you were younger that had this effect on you?
Yeah. There's like a Righteous Brothers song that's like oh shit, I can't remember the name of it. There's also some Elvis songs that are super like feel good and sexy. There's some God, I'm fucking forgetting names right now.
Let me ask a different question then, because
Yeah.
I'm kind of putting you on the spot
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
But so can I assume then that music for you is very much about mood and about kind of the atmosphere?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it's creating a universe, you know, that you can invite people into. Yeah.
How long did it take you to write the first song that you were proud of?
First song that I was proud of? It probably wasn't until I moved to LA.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I wrote some stuff in New York that I really liked, but I never put it out. And yeah, I think in LA, I was like I was feeling pretty lonely, probably the loneliest I've ever felt, because I didn't really have anyone to talk to out there, or like I just didn't know anyone that was doing what I was doing, and then once I started writing music and finding friends and collaborators, that's when I started writing things that I felt were real, because I think I had like a raw emotion inside of me. So yeah.
What is that decision process like then, when you think, okay, I'm going to LA and chase my dream? Is that kind of the thought process?
No, I mean, I was like, I'm gonna go to LA for a month and see if I can write a good song.
Okay, and then you stuck around.
And then I guess I just never left. I kind of felt like I was on vacation there for like a year. And before I knew it, I was like, damn, I've been here way longer than I expected, and I ended up living in the B&B that I rented out for, at first, just a week.
Okay.
And it just felt like a fantasy. It was like springtime, and there was like jasmine in the air, and I was driving this like old Mercedes, and there's palm trees everywhere. Just everything was just so, just like majestic, and I just didn't want to leave. So, yeah.
So I assume then this is kind of the period where the debut album was created.
Yeah. This was when like my first EP was made,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
the debut album.
Because I don't want to focus too much on the debut album, I want to
Yeah.
new stuff. But especially with a couple of songs like Electric Love, did you know immediately, well, this could go over well?
I thought it was a good song, and then I guess it wasn't until people started telling me that it was a really good song. You know, they were like, "Hey, that's a really good song, by the way." I was like, "Oh, thanks." Yeah, I guess you really never know how people are going to react to music, and or your music. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anyone really knew, to be honest. I think the listeners knew, because it was like, I put out an EP, and it had like 5 songs on it, and we didn't really establish any of them. I guess the first single was 10,000 Emerald Pools, but then all of a sudden Electric Love just started getting all of this play, like so many more plays than all the other songs, and then it got in a few like kind of like commercial spots, and yeah, and then before you know it's a platinum record. It's like, whoa, how does that happen, you know?
So was this then, in a way, the validation that you were looking for? Because you mentioned kind of that feeling that music has given you at times, that not, some people can have that with your music as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely validating. It feels really good to have people connect to a song that I guess I wasn't necessarily trying to craft a song that would be a platinum record, so that's a really good feeling. Yeah, but it also kind of makes you feel like, oh damn, well, guess I got to make something even better now.
Right. So with that in mind then, when it came time for the second record, did you have an idea of what you wanted?
Yeah, I think so. I think it had been so long, like the gap between the first album and getting in the studio for the second album. I was touring so much that I was so anxious to get in the studio that I was just experimenting on a lot of different kind of ways of writing songs and instruments, and putting live strings on the record, and and so it was just a lot of experimental songs that kind of turned into an album. So yeah.
Because is that difficult when you have this touring cycle for like you mentioned, for the first record, and do you write in that period for what is going to come next, or do you need a bit of separation to clear your mind?
I needed some separation, and I had such a crazy schedule for those 2 years. I had like 0 time to write. It was insane. I just had like so much press, so many shows. I was like traveling everywhere. That like, it was great. It was a huge learning experience for me, you know, like how I wanted to present myself and how I talk to people, and you just kind of, you build your stamina that way, I guess, just going out and doing it and being exhausted. So, yeah, I learned a lot about my performance and my headspace and everything doing that, and then once it came time to record the second album, I was just like ready. Yeah.
What was the mindset when you started writing? Because you mentioned for the first couple of songs that you wrote in LA, it was kind of that loneliness and that rawness.
Mm-hmm.
So once you started working on the second album, what kind of mind space were you in?
I really wanted to. I think I just wanted to really push myself with the production, and I record everything with my friend Tommy English, and he's an incredible producer and songwriter, and we play pretty much all the instruments together, and I think we both kind of agreed in the beginning. We're like we want to like write songs that we've never, written before and we've never heard before, and just do things that will be really kind of like a full experience when you put on your headphones, because I think because music is so, you can record an album anywhere now and just on your laptop. I think it's really easy to maybe forget about the nuances of things, or like even real instruments, and I really wanted to make an album that was like lush with real instruments and textures and nuances, that every time you listen to it you get a different, a different story, or notice something different. So yeah, it was a lot of experimenting.
I can imagine when you do approach it like this, it might be quite difficult when to know where to stop, or where a song is created. So when did you kind of figure out, when did it become more fleshed out or more concrete in a way, from experimenting to actual?
I feel like, I don't know, like, it kind of goes in waves, I guess. Like right away, I think we wrote like a bunch of songs like really quickly. And then you kind of go into a period of like writing songs that may not match the vibe that you just created, because there's something about like the initial idea that like when you go in, you like start like the story. And then once you're like kind of midway through the story, you're like, oh, does this fit? Does this not fit? Should I like be thinking more outside the box? Should I be limiting myself more? Like, you kind of get in this your own neurosis about how you should be making an album. So there's a lot of different roller coasters that go into making a record, but I think as much as you can distance yourself from something you're making, it's really good. Like to put down your instincts and then forget about it and work on something else and then come back to it. It's like, then you'll see 2020. Yeah.